Hello, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of Adobe Live. How is everyone today? Thank you so much for hanging with us while we had some technical difficulties. We're good to go now. If you're in the last stream and are hanging out now, thanks for staying. If you're just tuning in, thanks for joining us. We've got a really exciting stream ahead of us. I'm Shauna Lynn, and I'm here with the super talented Mike Jones. Mike, how are you today?
What's up? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to see what you're up to today.
Oh, fun times.
Yeah.
But you're gonna go ahead.
I gotta do my quick spiel and then we'll hand it off to you.
Do it.
All right. Well, so before we get started, make sure you check out the first week of a new Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge with Howard Pinsky every weekday at 9 a.m. Pacific. Don't miss out on these challenges. Today we have the Artist Spotlight, so don't forget to submit your recommendations for creatives to highlight for our next Artist Spotlight, where we highlight and hype a member of our creative community. If you would like to be considered for future Artist Spotlights, make sure to submit your Behance portfolio by clicking the tab above the chat. So you'll see chat, info, Artist Spotlight. Click Artist Spotlight, submit your Behance. And if you are hanging out over on YouTube and watching the stream, we'd love to see you join us over here on behance.net/Adobe Live. This is where we're reading the chat. I won't see anything if you're asking questions on YouTube. I won't see them. I can't relay them to Mike. So come hang out with us on Behance, ask your questions there, and I will happily relay them. And if you do miss any of the streams this week, you can watch all the replays right here on Behance. And when Adobe Live is offline, they are hosting other streamers on Behance. So you can go check out their creative process as well. So Mike, would you like to introduce yourself and your work and tell the audience what you're working on today, and then we'll recap what you did yesterday?
For sure. So, hey, I'm Mike Jones. I'm a designer based out of Columbus, Georgia. I'm a creative lead at Aflac, and I run a studio called Surf Studios, and I run a conference called Creative South, and that is me in a nutshell. I love hugs and barbecue. All right. So, today we're gonna just be lettering what we did yesterday in the sketch portion. So that's kind of what we're doing, is just kind of this hug next version, this hug next script, kind of based loosely off of Coke, and that's where we're at.
Awesome. I'm excited to see where we're gonna go from here.
Yay! Fun times.
Yeah.
So today I imported this from Fresco into Illustrator, and there's just a little button. You just click it and it shares straight to Illustrator. So I went ahead and did that yesterday evening, and then I where's my layers palette? On my layers, and I'm good and bad, depends on the project, about leveling. About naming my layers. But here I just named this bottom one sketches, which is where the sketches are. And what I'm going to do is, if you click this little drop down over here, you can click on template. And what that does is it goes ahead and locks that layer for you, but it also fades it back. And that's just how I start. Because like I said, most of my stuff, I want it to look pretty much close to what I'm drawing. And then I just named another new layer, lettering, and away we go with the pen tool, because we really want to knock out this lettering first. So just get in there and get started, and I hope I don't mess this up. So there we go.
You're gonna be fine. Have confidence.
Yeah.
So we have Debbie Mason in the chat, says, Columbus, my hometown.
No way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What part? Like, where did you go to high school? That's the question we all ask everybody.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I will relay that when I get that answer. Mark says hi. He sends a virtual hug.
That's what's up.
He has to run off to a meeting, so he popped in so he could say like, "Hi,
That's all
here's
right,
a virtual
man.
hug," and
I
then
appreciate
left.
that, man. I appreciate that.
And then we've got Umacorn says hugs and barbecue, which is that's your brand in a nutshell. Hugs and barbecue.
Pretty much.
You got Wade in the chat. Wade says, "Hi, Mike and Shauna." Hello, Wade. Wade is our awesome mod today.
Moving this, I gotta move our little video window over here because it's now in my way.
Oh, you're good. You good. And then, Colby's here. Hey, Colby. Debbie says that she was actually homeschooled, but attended CSU for a little while.
Oh, right on. Cool.
Yeah. And then Mercurial says, I lived in Eatonton, Georgia.
I think that's where a buddy. I think I have a buddy that lives up that way.
Nice. And then Cheryl says, can you explain the steps you're taking?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm sitting here going, why is my stuff all out of whack? I had to reset my artboard, or my whole screen. But basically what I'm doing is, if you think about every, let me turn on my rulers real quick. Bobby Ewing showed me this trick a long time ago, but basically what I'm doing is everywhere the curve in a letter form touches an imaginary plane, right? So if you take your rulers out and you basically put it touch to wherever you think a curve touches, right? That's where a point should go. Okay. So what I've done is I've basically just drawn where I think the point should go based off of what I'm seeing. And then I've selected all of them except for one. So you can go in here and just deselect one of them. And then up here in the top toolbar, you have your convert selected anchor points. And I'm just going to convert selected anchor points to smooth. And so it just kind of pushes them out to where I kind of want them. And then I go back in here and adjust everything to kind of try to get it as perpendicular and as horizontal as I can make it. And then you'll start adjusting, does it really fit the curve that you want it to fit, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's way easier than I do things in Illustrator, because
that's kind of it in a nutshell. It was a great hack that he showed me a long time ago that I use whenever I'm doing custom pieces like this, to really try to keep everything correct. And now it doesn't always work depending on what you drew. And but that's the fun part, is trying to figure it out as you go.
Yeah. And it's a case of, work smarter, not harder.
Right. And I've kept this as part of the H for now, just because I just want to get it built. And then some stuff like this, if you hold down the option key on a Mac, you can just move one handle. So I'm just making that 45 degree by holding shift down and grabbing that one point.
Okay.
And so, sorry, y'all. Sorry, that's me. My bad. It was literally sitting on the mic stand. Whoops. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love watching people vector things, because I don't have to do that often for the art I do. And now that I'm fully doing more illustration than anything else, I really don't have to vector anything anymore for clients, unless I am doing something that's outside of my wheelhouse that I offer. So it's really fun for me to watch people do things that I don't do often.
Yeah. And this can get tedious, but I'm trying to keep it as not tedious as I can make it.
I think the last thing I remember distinctly, actually sitting down and vectoring, was last summer. My dad created this, he had this idea for a shadowed musky fish, and my sister drew it out, and then they passed it to me, and I cleaned the whole thing up and then simplified it a bit more, because they had so much detail that shrinking it down, it wouldn't work. And then I had to sit there and make this whole thing so that I could then turn it into vinyls.
Oh, fun.
And yeah. But that was like the last thing I vectored. So I was like, this is not fun. I don't like spending time trying to be like perfect and tedious like that. We've got Colby says this is an interesting workflow. I need to try it. Marcia says that is smart. Carol says time saver. Amanda says, I like that tip. Seems to make the initial drawing quicker and probably more accurate. Norsh says, I know what you did last summer. Funny.
Okay.
That the fish I made was a decal for cars. So like I've got one on my car, my dad has one on his car. And it lasted through the winter. So I am really proud.
Nice.
So in a case like this, where it does look like you're overlapping your lines, you have to go around them, right?
I could zoom in and all that, but I'm not. You just kind of go around it. At the end of the day, right now, I'm guessing where I think they should go. There we go. And so, I knew this one's going to blow out because I didn't add an extra point in there, but it doesn't matter because I knew where it would go at the end. Like I kind of know where the points, you just get to the point where you kind of start knowing where things will fall once you put them in place and where the handles could go. And sometimes like even this one, I know I probably could pull it down a little more where it's not perpendicular. It's probably not the best practice, but I want it to look a certain way. And so sometimes if you can't go horizontal or you can't go vertical, try to stick to like 45s, and keep everything perpendicular to the line next to it if you can. And if you can't, you know what, you adjust it till it looks the way you want it to look and call it a day. Especially when you're doing this kind of lettering, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah. And I've heard too, like with curves, you want to use as few points as possible.
Yep. And also, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying, when you're pulling your point, you're pulling your handles, you're trying to make them even as you can make them on every curve. You don't want one to be like this. You want it to be super short. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think our friend Scott Biersack, when he does his points, he does his all literally just on straights. I don't know how to.
Yeah, and you should. You really should. But sometimes, like, I don't know if it's the way I draw or I just don't have the hang of it yet. Sometimes I cannot get it to work to save my life. So I just I just make it look the best I can look and keep on trucking.
Yeah, my brain can't process that in my head. Like I can't see what it should look like, but I like kind of get what he says. And Carol says, since you make the drawings so tight, have you ever tried the image trace?
I have, but with image trace, you're going to get all those extra points you don't need. Instead of having a nice clean, like this, has, let's just say it has 10 points in it. If I image trace that thing, it's going to have like 150. And you can clean it up. But also, I mean, I'll say that if you want to do the image trace because you want it to look rough, then do that, because it could give a whole nother vibe. But before you image trace it, put that sketch in Photoshop and really like clean up the edges as best you can with an eraser tool, and then put it in there, and you should have the kind of result you want. And we can unlock this and try it in a minute and see what it turns out to look like. It might be something cool.
Yeah. I use image trace when I have to do stuff, when I do have to like do my lettering for clients, which is rare, but I have to like really adjust the settings because it will either make my lettering look really wonky or it like cleans it up too much. And I like it to have that really rough, like millions of points thing, which probably angers my clients, but I'm like, you wanted this, so this is what you're getting. And I know like the Hood sisters, they will vector something out really clean, and then they go to filter and they use the roughen tool to give their work that crunchy feel. So there's a lot of tips and tricks that
it's whatever works best for your own particular style of designing and building things. Mm-hmm. And then, little stuff, I'll go ahead and pull some corners before, just because I know I'm going to have those rounded anyway, get it out of the way. And because I want these to match, this is where you start like, oh, it's time saver, the U's done. But then also you want to match this. I try to match the width here. Mm-hmm. So I just use that as a guide and it gives me the angle that I'm trying to go after. So just use one of them as a guide. Maybe you can come in here and I try to keep it quick. So just erase part of it and, get rid of that. And okay, cool. Now I can build, can I build my G from this? Sure.
Yeah, Cheryl says, are you putting each curve on a different layer? I don't think you think you're just working on one layer.
I'm not. I'm a one layer guy until I need it to be something else. So right now everything's on one layer.
Yeah, the sketch is on its own layer, and then this is on its own layer. Right.
Tuck it. The sketch is on one layer, and the art's on another layer.
Cheryl says, I've never used layers in Illustrator. I'm sure it's the same idea as Photoshop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's good, like, if you're... I don't use layers in Illustrator often, but it's good if you have, like, multiple aspects of something. So, like, in my case, if there's, like, lettering and then there's a background and you want the lettering and the background to be two separate entities, it makes sense then to use different layers.
Yep.
Photoshop, though, I am the unnamed layer gang. Layer 1, layer 2, layer 139, like,
yep.
I don't name them.
I'm with you. I don't usually do that either. It's probably not the best practice, but
Yeah. I'll do it for clients. Like, if I have to send the working file to a client, like,
right.
I will go in and I will name the layers. But, like, if I'm the only one that's going to see the working file, mm-hmm. I don't spend time naming it, because that's a waste of time for me.
Yep. And you already know where things are and what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Marcia says this is mesmerizing.
Yeah, and I am just hacking the mess out of this G because it combines with that. So I don't really need it to be perfectly on point. And also, I keep everything separate. So, like, of course, this U is going to be grouped together. And, the H will be grouped together. Well, these two at least. And that way, if I want to come in here and say, oh, this needs to be tighter, I can just move it and do whatever. And that allows me to work on the kerning at the end once I'm done with all the letter forms.
Mouse clicks are very, like, ASMR calming.
Yeah. For sure, they are. They definitely are. I'm missing my point every time I click on it too. I probably should zoom in a little bit.
And what
made it
designer?
Pink so y'all can see it better.
Yeah, like, what would designer ASMR be? I feel like it'd be like key clicks, mouse clicks.
Coffee pours.
Oh, good one. Yes, coffee pours.
Eraser, maybe.
Yeah, like the close up of, like, the eraser against the paper. Let's see, pencil strokes. Like drawing.
Yeah.
I don't know, chat. What would designer ASMR look like? Noelle says, my cat is on my desk and totally mesmerized by the vector points. That's adorable.
You're welcome, cat. Get after it.
Robert says, for the most part, I use curvature tool and the width tool. The width tool is really fun.
Width tool is cool.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a little, like, difficult, because if you if you accidentally mess up like a point, you'll have like this weird like wide, and all of a sudden it's really thin, and you're like, what did I do wrong? But I've seen people use the width tool and like are freaking wizards at it.
Yep.
Debbie says a coffee maker brewing a fresh pot.
Yep.
Fairy says mouse click, pen, tablet sound, mechanical keyboard clicks, coffee pours, sport car engine, camera shutter, and are the best ASMR. I will say I do like the sound of a mechanical keyboard, but I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know. Does anyone else use a mechanical keyboard? Because I know like Alice Lee, who does doodle therapy here on Adobe Live, she was building a mechanical keyboard and was like getting custom keycaps and stuff to make like a very aesthetic looking mechanical keyboard. And then of course I saw that and I was like, well, now I want one. And I was like, I don't want to do the work.
But I'm not going to put time in.
Yeah, I don't have the time to add another thing into my day-to-day. Plus it gets expensive.
That's true. That is true. It can. It depending on what you make.
Yeah. Because my problem is I couldn't just get like a standard mechanical keyboard. I would want to go like all out, like pink, purple, blue, like and go
really
nuts. Yeah, like there's no halfway. So I'm just like, I will just stick with my little Mac keyboard. Cheryl goes, I'm thinking I'm in a Zoom environment responding to you in voice from your response, but then I realize I need to respond to you in chat.
Nice.
I mean, it's kind of like working with people.
Sort of.
It feels like a lot of people, they'll do like what we call the work and lurk, where you're hanging out with all of us and you're just not in chat. You just feel like you're in a co-working space. Donna says, what is a mechanical keyboard? It's like, how do you explain? It's the old,
literally the thick keys that have the sound, like they're really clickety clack on the bottom. There's not this
yeah. It's the ones that aren't, it's like the ones that aren't flat. And they've got like, you could pop the key off if you needed to. How do you describe it?
We just butchered that.
We really did. Like, I can see it in my head.
Like I know what it is, but how it works, I couldn't tell you. It's mechanical because I don't think it has any, unless it has lights in it. Maybe it doesn't have any electronic components. I don't know I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, I think it has to do with like the little key pieces underneath the key. Stoney says, oh, just a keyboard. Yeah, like a normal keyboard, like one that's not like the Mac flat aesthetic one. That's generally, I think, a mechanical keyboard. Like what we used as kids in school and such, like that was a mechanical keyboard that actually had you like typing with your hands like you were playing a piano, versus like the way they are now where it's a lot flatter. Like I remember playing, did anyone play Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing in school?
Golly.
Because I remember playing that in like 6th grade. That was my favorite game. I was very nerdy, but like Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing is my favorite game.
I was a giant nerd.
And and you had to like, and it would teach you how to type properly, like with all, 5 fingers, versus like a lot of people doing like the 2-finger typing now. So like we learned how to hit different keys and where they were. So like you hit a point where you can just type and not look at your keyboard at all. Carol says, I took a typing class after 6th grade. Very good background for the typesetting that I eventually did. Debbie says, do your hands get tired though? I guess depending on how much typing you do. I mean, mine get tired just typing on a normal keyboard. That's because I don't type much.
I'm with you. I don't either. I don't do a whole lot of.
It's a lot of clicking, or like I'm drawing generally.
Let's see. This needs to go. up here too. That one.
Anne says, I taught myself with the Mavis Beacon program. I think I managed to get my parents to buy it for me because I enjoyed it so much in school. So I do it when I got home too.
Nice.
But if you think about it, like all that leads to like learning how to do HTML, and you learn how to code eventually. And,
Yeah, it's all connected.
It all started with the Oregon Trail and then go from there.
Right. The Oregon Trail.
You Your cow has died. You have died of dysentery.
I absolutely love dialects from different places. Like the way that people sound from different places trips me out.
Yeah.
I think accents are just they're phenomenal. And when I hear y'all's accent, it trips me out. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because like I can hear a definite Southern drawl in how you talk.
Nope. And zero accent on this side. It's just everybody else. I'm kidding. Did you log out? Oh no. Right in the best part too. It's always in the best part when I'm like messing with her. Like, that was it. All right, bud. I'm gonna take a water while we're waiting on Shauna to unfreeze.
Yeah, I missed all that. I
basically
tried.
Was saying, oh no, it was so funny because I was basically saying, whoa, no, I don't have an accent. Oh, y'all have an accent.
Oh yeah. No, it's funny because like I grew up in the South, so like I'm used to hearing the Southern accent, but like it's like my sister has more of a Southern accent than I do, and then I ended up with somehow more of a Northern accent. But both my parents are from up here, so like they had Northern accents growing up. So we're not entirely sure like where the accents come from.
You just pick it up, pick it up from different places. And
like my cousins are from like Western Illinois, and they have more of a Wisconsin accent. So they've got the really harder like cheesehead, we support the Green Bay Packers like accent. Awesome. And then you add in that my cousin who's my age moved to Memphis, so she has like more of a Northern accent, but she says y'all.
Yes, that trips me out though when people are not from here and they use it, but they're using it correctly though. They're using it correctly, so
it's I grew up in the South, so saying y'all is like normal for me, but it's weird saying it up here because up here it's you guys. You guys or yous guys.
I love it. I love just how everything is different in different regions. It trips me out.
It really is. I have a friend growing up. Like I've known her since we were probably in third grade. And growing up, I never noticed an accent. And then she went off to college in Boston, and her family is originally from like up in that area. So all of a sudden the slight Boston accent she had really came out. And I hadn't seen her for a few years. Yeah, I hadn't seen her for a few years. And suddenly she had no R's. And I was like, where'd your R's go?
What happened to the R's?
Yeah, it's just like, I'm going to go to the car. I'll see you later. I'm like, what?
That's awesome.
And the funniest thing about it too is she ended up being an au pair in Paris. And I was like, you're teaching these kids English. They're going to have no R's.
Right.
Reverb Mike says some people have an accent, some people have a drawl.
That's fair.
Yeah. And then Marcel says Wisconsin accents sound like they've got cheese in their mouth. Yeah, kind of. Man. Oh man, yeah. I always like to, since we're talking about like accents, but also like old computer programs, like what was the first version of Adobe that you had?
Me?
Yeah.
5.5.
Okay. So that was like 2000, I think.
Be like 90s, like late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
That's when I was in school.
Yeah. So mine was Photoshop 6.
Nice.
And that was, I think, 2002, because I was in 9th grade and I took computer graphics and we were learning how to draw with a mouse.
Yeah. I mean, I just remember the computers then were they were something.
Mm-hmm.
They were something else.
Oh yeah. And I remember that year, like, it's so weird because like I remember my first foray into Photoshop, like that was the same year that I saw this Campbell's Soup at Hand commercial where this girl is drinking her Campbell's Soup at Hand and she's drawing. She's got like a walk.
And we're back. Oh no. I want to hear the rest of this. It's I like it. It's fun. So I'm just gonna keep going, guys, with this
Yeah.
This stuff.
You do you. We can talk, we can just chat design while you do this.
Okay.
If anyone has questions.
Yeah, please ask.
Yeah, if you got questions, please ask. James says Illustrator 87. Reverb Mike says Photoshop 3.
Get it now. Let's go.
Steve says Photoshop 4.
Okay.
Ferry says American accent in listening assignments is easier to figure out, but usually the speaker talks too fast. I took Spanish in school, and there was a point where like I was like decently conversational. Like I could hold a conversation in Spanish and I would catch myself like all of my thoughts were in Spanish. But if you put me in a situation where I was with someone that spoke it fluently, I couldn't keep up. So I can't even imagine how hard it'd be to learn like English in that sense, especially with like the vast amount of accents that are out there.
Or do you pick like, I'm gonna pick English, but I want to choose which region I'm from.
There you go.
And then you learn how to do that. I don't know.
See, yeah, if I could choose, I would choose the what is it? The mid-Atlantic
Midwest
accent.
Oh,
no,
yeah?
mid-Atlantic. It's a mix between like the English, like the proper English accent and the Midwest accent. And it's like the old Cap and Hepburn way of talking.
That's yeah.
Yeah, like the old school movies, like things like that. Like that would be the accent I would have fun doing.
All right, this is just me messing around trying to get my letters like they need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of messing a little bit more with the baselines as I see fit. And here you just take this E and boop, push it over and then rework the front. So I just wrong tool. That
Slice.
Just kidding. Let's get rid of this. Just trying to get it, get it done a little quicker by doing it like that.
Yeah. And if anyone thinks this is cheating, it's not cheating.
Hey, I'm all for whatever makes you more efficient because time is money.
Yeah. Work smarter, not harder.
If you're trying to earn a certain amount for this particular project and you have your plate's full, hey, get it done.
Yeah.
Work is your work. My method gets it done for me, and if it's not going to work for you, that's totally okay. Totally okay.
It's like we were saying yesterday when we were talking about like pricing and how if you price hourly, it punishes efficiency. If you can figure out how long it would take you and you price it based on that, and your methods can get it done sooner, you get a bonus basically.
That's right. This is one of these instances where I really just want to eyeball this until I get it like I want it.
Yeah.
And then just kind of make it however I can make it. So get the C done. And then obviously this is not current at all. So you'll see what I mean when I finish all the letters, and you see how I'm keeping all the letters separate. It's so I can come back and do that for that reason. So
that's smart.
Even this K, I'll just build the my mind's just drew a blank. I'll build this part of the K.
I've been doing lettering for years, and
I can't think of the name of it right now. Sorry. I'll build this part.
I've been doing lettering for years, and I still don't know all the terms. So
yeah, there's so many. But that way, if I need to adjust like the K itself, you keep them separate. I don't know if you guys don't know Bob Ewing and you haven't followed his work, or you know the guy and you love the guy. Like he's a solid letterer. There's so many good ones out there. He's just a friend of mine, and I've learned a ton from watching him work over the years. So and asking him a ton of questions, and a lot of the stuff that I've picked up on how I build type is from him, and from like, God, there's so many good ones. But I bug him a good bit. I know he knows it too.
He's such a good dude, though.
He's a good dude.
Emmanuel says Control S, Mike, please.
Oh, okay. So agree, but I'm a huge advocate of Astute graphics plugins. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I did. And autosavior is a great addition to your tool set. So run with it if you can.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They're still talking about their first forays into Adobe programs, and the subject of Quark came up, and Marcia says, wow. I used Quark too until Ogilvy made us all switch to InDesign. And one of my first freelance gigs, I was just filling in for someone for a week at an agency.
Yeah.
And they're like, here, we need you to work on this file and like make these changes. And I open it and it's in Quark. And I was like, I just graduated school and I have never used this program in my life. Like I learned InDesign.
Wow.
So my first, I spent so much time, like I had to Google like everything in Quark because I didn't know what to do. And I was like, who is still using this?
Yeah, well, it was print industry standard forever and ever. When I got out of school, I worked in a commercial printing place doing pre-press, and that was the go-to. Quark was the staple for forever, even after InDesign came out. Until finally it wasn't. But yeah, I'm with you. I had to use that for a long time.
Yeah, they did not teach us that in school. Like it was all Adobe programs,
which is great. I mean, I no problems with that, but
it was, I think at that point too, a lot of agencies had switched to just, using Adobe. So it was weird because at this agency, there was like a mix where some files were in InDesign and some were in Quark, and it just depended on who was building them. Oh yeah.
And usually older designers who have been around for a while were ingrained into their software flavor of the month. And that's what they used was Quark.
Yeah. Shane says, would this not be quicker using a tablet or pen to trace the outlines with the vector tool, or even just use the vector trace tool? Granted, not as enjoyable, but definitely a time saver.
100%. If that is the route you want to take, yes, it is. It could be a time saver. If I did a trace on this, and we'll do that right after I finish these letters, we'll do a trace on it. I'll put another layer out. I'll do a trace, and it might be a cooler effect. We might get more a grainy looking Southern vibe out of it. But I've had it too where I've done that because that's the look I want to go for, and then the client's like, man, I really like this, but can you clean up all the letters? And now you got to go back and vector them anyway. So it's a toss up on the project. I think for this it could work. We'll try it next and see what happens. I think it's a great idea. Real quick on this, I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to show you all this trick. or not strict, but like just the way I would build this K, instead of like stopping a point here and then going back like that, I would bring it through and then like back around up here and then come back down. And you'll see why when I get the letter finished building it. This one I won't do that too. Actually, I probably should do that too, but it's a weird. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just go here and here and connect. And so when I one sec.
Philip says, doesn't Illustrator save automatically now when you're saving to iCloud and not your computer? Yes, I believe so. But that's only if you're working off the cloud. But I think you can set, I know Photoshop, I think you can set like an autosave. So it'll autosave every like, you choose 10 minutes or whatever.
But I do appreciate the reminder.
Yeah.
I'm so bad about that.
I'm like saving every 5 seconds because I lost so much work in school because I would get into work mode and then forget Control S, and then my file would get too big and crash. And I just lost 30 minutes of work.
Oh, and isn't that the worst feeling ever? Or you've gotten this final product that you're done, and it looks exactly like you want it to, and then you realize it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I can't tell you how many times that happened in school and stuff. Now saves like auto recover and save like have saved my butt so many times.
Oh, for sure. So on this, if I want to move this curve, because I didn't put a point here and I went through and back up, then now I can adjust this curve without messing with the rest of it, to where if there was a point here and I moved that curve, it would move I'd have to reformat all the stuff. So that's why I went through here and back up and around. In case I want to, come here and pull this a little bit, it doesn't mess with my bottom curve at all, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. I can't remember where I was that I saw Bob gave that trick at one point.
Yep. And this is right at Creative Stuff.
It's such a good one that I forget to use. Like,
oh yeah, I rely on it when I know it. When I know it needs to be implemented, it's when I pull together. All right, we're almost done.
And just a reminder, those of you if you're watching over on YouTube, we're hanging out over on Behance over at behance.net/Adobe Live. If you're asking questions over in the YouTube chat, like we're not watching that. I'm watching the Behance chat. So if you have questions for Mike, come hang out with us over here and drop them in the chat here. And those of you hanging out in chat, definitely feel free to ask questions as we go. Right now, the chat is still talking about like autosave and such. So it's a good conversation is happening.
Nice. Let's save that too.
I do remember though, back in school, I remember you had to before you could get the cloud subscription, which when that first happened, I know that there was a lot of pushback from people regarding it, but personally, I love it because I love having access to whatever programs I need. I remember in school, like you had to, you could buy Adobe, but you had to buy it like in bundles, and like bundle A would have all but like the one program you needed. Bundle B would have like, all but like 2 programs you needed. So you had to like decide which is the one that like has the ones that I'm going to use the most.
Right.
And that was back when you bought it on like a CD-ROM.
Oh man, back in the day.
And
yep.
But I was very I had a scholarship that because I was able to find my books like cheap everywhere else, I was able to use the scholarship rather than on my school books on the Adobe programs.
Nice.
And, oh my goodness, it saved me so much money when it was time to like upgrade things. And Shane says, remember when Photoshop was like $2,000 per year? Yeah. I think my student discount, I think brought it to like $500. But the programs at that point would last you like 2 years because they weren't updating every year. Now that you have the Creative Cloud, like you have the most recent update of every program ever. Like I think Photoshop just updated this morning.
Nice. I did not know that. I need to go check that out.
Yeah. Mike says, I remember you could get an upgrade discount. I did forget. Yeah, you could get an upgrade discount. Like if you already had the programs and you just wanted to like bump up, you could get I don't remember how much, but it did take some off. Debbie says, thank God for student discounts. I miss student discounts.
Yep.
I'm a student of life. Could that count? Could I get a discount because I'm a student of life?
It should. We all should get that. All right. Let me fix this curve here and then we can jump into something else.
Philip says throwback time. Yeah, throwback time zip discs. Are you talking about like floppy disks?
Oh wow, the big fat 3-inch ones, the big fat 3-inch ones, not the big 5.5 ones, but the little hard ones like that. Or
I didn't have those. I had the big 5-inch ones. I'd buy them in cute colors.
Oh man. All right, this will work for now.
I love how you do that S. It's so pretty.
It works. I don't know. I like it. It's off right now, but that goes off. There we go.
Also, everyone, don't forget we have our artist spotlight today. So if you want to be a chance to be featured in future artist spotlights, click the artist spotlight tab above the chat and submit your Behance portfolio, just so you know. Oh, look at that.
So I'm gonna just I'm adding another layer, and I tend to work all over the place. I probably go left and up, so I want to put another version of it over here. And because we're on gray, let's just work in white.
Do you know that if you, I think Command H or Shift Command H, I think you can turn your whole board white.
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
The reason I'm doing this is because I want to add my shadowing in here after I get my kerning done. And I can see it. I can knock it out when I'm on gray, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense.
Now that this is done, we'll just try to really look for like bad inconsistencies and everything. And try to, I don't know, I try to just space everything out a little bit now. So I use my tails to kind of go, okay, that needs to probably be there. And let's push this out a little bit here.
Even prior to kerning though, like it looked really good.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can do it however, whatever suits.
Yeah.
Try to set these two. There we go. It's a tough one. That's tricky space right there. I'll leave it. I'll leave it alone. Oh me. And so, do I want this to come up or that to come up? I don't know. You guys chime in if you think it needs to go one way or another. I'm good either way. This is where I just start refining like spacing and all that. And so then I'll test out if I want to have the overlaps. I just kind of come in here. Okay. Maybe I need one right there. So I want to see what it looks like before I knock it out.
Okay, that's awesome.
That's how I do it anyway. I mean, I'm sure there's much better ways to do it, but for me, I want to know like what's the overlap look like, right?
Yeah.
And then even on the K, I know that it's going to go through here. Whoop, it's going to go through the K. So do I want to have that on the inside and then under, or do I have it here? Like, do we do it here? No, this is just me blocking it off to see what I think we should put it. That's not a good one, but do I have it come through there and then do another one on the underside up here?
It's crazy too how like quickly the shadows can really give it a dimensional effect.
Yeah, and I'm do like weird curvy shadows. I'm sure that other people do them certain ways. That's just what I like. To kind of give it some kind of like the letter has some curve to it or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know. Maybe this needs to come up some. Whoop. Be thinner.
Oh gosh, they're talking about Dreamweaver in the chat.
Oh, they went sideways.
Yeah, Shane says Dreamweaver was the true OG. I used that to make my GeoCities websites.
GeoCities.
Yeah.
We are really all going back in the back now to search for stuff, aren't we?
I learned some really, really basic HTML because of like MySpace.
I did too, because I wanted the coolest profile,
Yeah. You'd learn how to code like custom backgrounds and how like make it play music when people open it.
You wanted it to make, you just wanted to have it like, I don't know, maybe on this one, we don't even need to go all the way up, right? Maybe on here, we just go part of the way.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm making it up as I go.
Which totally works. Debbie says, I think MySpace was the HTML launcher of a lot of millennial coders. I could totally see that. It was like that. I think LiveJournal you could also code. And then of course, like if you had a GeoCities. I used GeoCities to make like, if anyone remembers those like little pixel people, like we'd make like clothing on little pixel dolls. Like that was my first foray into like digital drawing and things.
Okay, so there's that. And then all right.
Justin says, I once built an entire website in Flash, and that thing had sounds every time you pressed a button. I was a monster.
I am with you, brother. Done that myself.
I remember having to learn Flash in college, and like it was like right when iPhones were starting to come out and iPhones didn't support Flash, and like that was the death of Flash. So we ended I learned it and then I never used it ever again.
I went to the first Macs I ever went to was Macromedia, and before Adobe bought it, and I was into building those kinds of websites also, and it was intense. It was an intense learning process.
Yeah, I think if I remember right, our project had to have there were different aspects you had to make happen. So like if you pressed a button, something moved, and so I did and I've loved spooky, creepy, cute things my whole life. And so my project was on the ghosts of St. Augustine, Florida.
Nice.
And I used photos I took down in St. Augustine on ghost tours to do the project. And I remember there was you went to one section and a little ghost flew across the screen. Wish I could find those. I don't think I even have those projects anymore. Justin says, here's that. Oh, I like. Justin says he was at FSCJ, which is the community college of Jacksonville. And he says that literally 1/5 of the digital media degree was Flash.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, I want to say my class, I think, was the last or like one of the last in our college to learn Flash, and then it was just like no more. Sterling says, would be neat if the curves of the G and the N had a relationship with each other like a yin yang.
Oh, yeah. Like you're talking about this bottom piece coming back a certain way.
The curves of the G. Oh, I see what they mean. The G, like if the curve nestled into, rather than just going on the angle and matching the U.
Oh, like if
it
came
like
up in here?
Curved like into the N.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that would work, because it might make it feel skewed weird. But it's a good idea.
Probably would work. I don't know if it would pull in. I don't know if it would keep the vibe of emulating Coke like I'm trying to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it feels very sign paintery. But I think if we do that, I think it would end up not working as well. And Debbie says, I see you have minimal guides set up. Is that your typical setup for refining?
You mean like just having a couple? Is that what she means?
Yeah. Like your baseline, your X height, and your S height.
I just have that just so I kind of gives me some kind of idea of where I'm at. It's not necessarily something I use all the time. I don't even think this point's needed at this point.
I think anytime I have to do something where like stuff curves, if I'm drawing it out, I do like if I were in Fresco, I use that ruler and I take it onto an angle and I just draw my lines as needed. And I use that as the guide. But once it's in Illustrator, I'm actually really bad about using guides. I don't think I really ever use them. Oh gosh, the best Flash animation I made was for a pest control company with rats and cockroaches walking around the website. Their antennas and tails would move when you hovered on them.
Oh wow, awesome, hardcore stuff right there. All right, I can live with that. Okay, I guess.
Shane says, just lurking while I eat some fish and chips. We eat that every day in the UK, but this is relaxing to watch. Keep up the good work.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I appreciate that.
Steve says, Flash was hard to code, but Adobe tried hard to promote making websites entirely in Flash for a short while. I feel like I remember that when like every website was in Flash.
But I mean, there were some dope ones. Too Advanced, come on. Too Advanced back in the day, it was like the stuff in Flash, you know? It was one of those go-tos. You wanted to go to it every day to see what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. All right, that'll work for now. I think we're in a good place. So with this particular one, because I'm kind of done with what I want to do, I'll go ahead and break out the shadows out of here. So where did Pathfinder go? Just kidding. There we go. And I'll kind of clean it up.
Rob says that hug section is awesome.
Awesome, man. I appreciate that. There we go.
Donna says Shane is lying wheat pie and mash too.
All right. Cool. So anyway, we got this. A lot more we could do to it to keep tweaking the rest of it, but get rid of all these guys.
We'll let you know where we're at. We've got about 23 minutes until we do the artist spotlight.
Ooh, I gotta go.
So, well, and then you'll still have time afterwards, but just so you know what's going on.
All right, well, let's get to building then. We got this part pretty close. I still think down here we could probably pull in some fun shadows. So maybe something like this.
Umacorn says, are those plugins you're using those extra tools in your toolbar? I think they're talking like the butterfly and stuff.
Yeah, all this bottom stuff down here, like from, I don't know, right in here somewhere down is all Astute graphics plugins. And this is the best one on here, Smart Remove.
Just out of curiosity, what does that do? Smart Remove.
So if you've got like, you know, right, and you got your shape like this, and you don't need extra points. Well, obviously it's not gonna do it for me right now, but if I have something like this and I don't need a point in there, if it sees where it can improve the curve, it'll take the point out completely. But we've been drawing things on, we've been drawing it where it's pretty spot on. But say like we did, I thought that would be much cooler looking when I did it in my head right here.
Did you put a shadow there?
Yeah, but because it's already a curve there, it doesn't really need it so much. Maybe we actually could.
I was gonna say, I thought maybe like if there's like a shadow through that H, so the G is still its like own entity, but the H feels like it sort of hugs into it.
Yeah, maybe we don't need it.
Noel says, oh, that's like a more refined smooth tool. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. So I remember we were going to go back and do this real quick. So let's see what this looks like. I'm going to just get rid of all my guides just because I'm really done with them. Lock this, click this, go unrelease the template. And we're going to see what happens when we do a trace on this. Where is it?
There we go. Are you sure you want to continue? Well, yes, that's why I pressed it.
So there's that. And obviously because it's not filled in all the way, that's why you're getting that ugliness. And then now you've got all of these lovely points. You get the idea.
Yeah. And in there, you can also choose ignore white. So you'd get like all that knocked out.
And that could work if I really wanted to really rough it up. But again, I would go into Photoshop. I would clean up all the little unnecessary pieces and really fill in the letters a good bit. Like, honestly, I would probably just keep this in Fresco and go back and really like draw it in nice and tight. And then once I had that nice tight version, I could probably pull it over here and save some time doing that. You're going to spend time either cleaning it up to where it'll trace more, or you're going to save time by not doing that and building out like we did today. But anyway.
Rob says, I feel like people do not understand how difficult hand lettering is until they attempt it themselves. I didn't have a complete appreciation for it until a client wanted it.
Truth, bro. For sure. I'm with you on that.
It took me a few years of doing it consistently for it to get to a point where it wasn't hard anymore. And even then it took another like 2 years for me to feel really comfortable with like a style. Oh, this is gonna look so good. Oh, I see. So you went with the shadows and you Pathfindered it so that they disappeared, right?
Right. So the reason I did that, say I want to put this, say this is going to be, a nice, let's just use red, Coke red, behind it. Now my shadows are going any color.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we could definitely put one here too.
It's fine, because what Mike is doing now is what I was talking about. I must have missed your comments, Trilling. I'm sorry. Where is it? Like the top of the G stem and the tail of the N. Oh, okay. I guess just like tucking them in further. Norse says that they were tempted to count the points in the live trace. And I actually think that I think in the menu, I think there's a way to like, you can see how many points are in a selection. Robert says, I have hard hand lettering by pencil. When I graduated and started doing hand lettering, I did a lot of stuff analog. So it was like pencil and paper, and then I would scan and go from there. iPad, now it's just like everything's digital.
Yep.
The things that I wish we had when we were in school.
Oh man. Definitely a different time.
Mm-hmm. I had the Intuos tablet in school, so like that was really helpful for me in terms of drawing because I didn't have to use a mouse. And then when I worked my first like big girl job outside of college, I was working for a fashion brand, and I did signage for stores. And then I'd have to do like occasional photo editing as well, like if the if our creative director just wanted like the t-shirt or something to be a different color and, cut this girl out of a background, things like that. I had my tablet and I would just bring it to work because I couldn't use a mouse for a lot of that stuff. Like I always had to use the tablet to draw like in my masks and stuff. And it got to the point where like, if the buyers came in, they're like, we need to adjust the color on this so that it matches this. And so they'd sit and they'd watch me and they're like, use your, what is that? That we just call that your magic tablet.
Your magic tablet. Like we've never seen this technology.
Yeah. They were all, the buyers, they don't work with any of that. So they're just like, it's a magic tablet. And I was like, it just makes my work easier. And then it finally got to a point where I went to my creative director. I was like, can I get permission to just like buy one for work? Like, can you buy me one? Because I'm using my personal one and I hate having to remember to bring it back and forth. And she goes, yeah, we can do that. So I bought a refurbished one.
Nice.
It was
I'm
really fun.
just looking if there's any other places I can put these. Not really a fan of that. Maybe we could do one here.
Sterling says, how did you get that signage and design job, Shauna? I applied for it. When I graduated college in 2010, a lot of the jobs out in the market at that time were web-based. There was this thing, this weird hype that like print is dead, print is gone, no one's going to do print. It was a lie. But most places that were hiring for web. And so it happened that this company was based in Jacksonville, where I was living. And I went to college with two of the girls that were on the team. And so I went and I applied, and I went through like, I think 3 rounds of interviews and had to sort of fight my way into it and convince the creative director, because she's like, well, you don't have a lot of experience. And I'm like, I had a post-college internship for 6 months. I ended up getting several awards. I've worked on real life things. Like, I can do this job. And thankfully, like my former student people that I went to school with. I'm drawing a blank.
My former student people thing. You know who they are.
Yeah, the girls that I knew there like fought for me to get the job, because her whole thing was just like, you don't have a lot of experience. I'm like, this is a junior position. Like, because she's like, we'd really like you to have 2 to 3 years of experience. And I'm like, how am I supposed to get that if I don't get hired anywhere? And so I thankfully I got hired, and I was there for, I think, just over a year before another company reached out and wanted to hire me. And then I moved, and then I got fired from that job. So that's fun.
Good times.
Yeah, but it was really fun working in that company. Like the team was really fun to work with. Everyone was really like excited about what we did. I got to work on things that I generally probably wouldn't have gotten to work on. Like I did a lot of signage, which was fun because there was a store in my hometown that like, so my mom could like go to the store and she'd see my signage around the store. And then we had like, I learned how to do like photo shoots, and we'd pick our models, we'd get ready to go do that. We'd do all the photo shoot, we'd pick clothing. We'd figure out what poses and things we needed for various signs. And we also did floor set, which was like showing them, like we had to map out like where everything was supposed to go, what was supposed to go where, and then the window displays. And then we got to like mock up in Photoshop window displays that would be turned into real world like displays out in these stores. So there were things that like I never would have gotten to do in that job, which was cool. And then there was a huge discount on the clothes, so that helped.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, my younger sister at the time she went to the same college I did, so we were both in the. She definitely made use of my discount.
Bet.
Cheryl says, it's amazing how you can get a degree and can't get a job because of no experience. Yeah, I feel like it's a little different now because you can freelance a lot easier now. But it is still like, you still have to sort of fight your way into various jobs. It's really weird. Debbie says, that's a really cool job. Yeah, it was fun. It was interesting. It was definitely, I learned a lot there. I learned a lot. It was good. The only downside of that job was the building had absolutely no windows. So like, how like once winter hits in, Georgia, Florida, it can get dark at 5 p.m. So there would be days that I'd go into work and it was light, and I'd walk out after 5 p.m. and it was pitch black outside. And I was like, well, this is not fun. I lost all sunlight.
Yeah. Mama said there'd be days like that.
Yeah. So that was the only like downside. I had a poster that made it look like I had a window in my office.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that was like the biggest downside was like I'd have to go outside for lunch just to get sunlight, but it was conveniently really close to my ice rink, so I could leave work and then I'd go teach. So
that's dope.
Cheryl says freelance, the way to go nowadays. Yeah, I think this last year has made a lot of people realize remote work is nice. Ooh, that's a nice shadow on that S.
All right. How about this? That would look all right for what we're doing.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. So then
I'm just going to speak for the whole chat. We like it.
You're good.
Dude, Robzilla's here.
What's up, dude?
Yo.
Anybody got a font suggestion? Maybe I have it, maybe I don't, but I'll take it. Oh, what could be a good font to put with this?
Rob Magnell says, hey, up here in Canada, we end up coming into work in the dark and going home in the dark. Oh, that would, I would not do well with that. Nope. Trying to think what typeface you would have, because Adobe Fonts is really good for this sort of thing.
I'm just grabbing whatever. This is a diner font, so
that works.
Just
Norse says try Myriad Pro.
Yes.
And Manuel says Gotham would be nice.
All right, first one to say Comic Sans is the winner.
Colby says Cooper Black. There's one. Yeah, there's one I'm not sure you have it, but it's called Oil Can, and it looks like an old sign painter sign type.
Nope.
Yeah, I think it's like I think I bought it on Creative Market years ago, but it is a nice one. Cheryl says Comic Sans. Rob Magnell says Montserrat. Kraus says Comic Papyrus.
Funny dude. Ha.
Kraus, you're kicked out of the chat. Go.
Bye.
Paris is Optima.
Give it some. I don't know if that works or not, but I like the roughness.
Oh, that's maybe. I kind of actually like that. It's got a nice like. It looks. That's what I'm looking for. It looks distressed. It fits really well. There we go. Wingdings.
Wingdings.
What about DDC hardware?
I mean, why not, right?
I love trying to use that. Here. I love using that.
It's a great for badges. It's a great font for badges.
It really is.
Actually, like if you could throw out one of your favorite fonts, ready to go. Like one of my favorites is Termina by Fort Foundry. It's one of my favorite fonts.
So one of my favorites right now, and it's not on Adobe Fonts. It's from Tan Type Foundry. Mm-hmm. And they've got a lot of like vintage ones, and I can't even remember the name of it, but I have those. I'm trying to think off the top of my head like what my favorite typeface would be, but I don't really play with typefaces all that often. I used to really love the House Industries ones.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Rob Silla says use Bleeding Cowboy. That is one of my least favorite typefaces in the world. And I can't tell you how many people use it up in my area. Like I see Bleeding Cowboy all over, and I'm like, this is not.
It's on buildings here.
Yeah, I'm like,
yeah,
no.
It's not too bad.
Ferry says Beba Snoo, Engravers MT, Optima. Norse says Garamond. Colby says my fave is Cooper Black right now. Yeah. Debbie says so bad, Bleeding Cowboy. Yes, it is. We have 5 minutes till the artist spotlight.
All right.
Let's see. I have a folder of my typefaces that I buy. I do like the Hood Sisters Palm Springs Canyon.
Oh, that font's dope.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And then Seabell Studio has some really cool ones, like Eastwood is really cool. Van Cleef is awesome. And then Tan Type Paradiso is one that I really like. Paradiso, and then Kindred as well. And then Wicked Hearts is like my go-to right now. That's one of the ones I really do love right now.
That's your jam.
Yeah, Wicked Hearts is a really nice one.
So
I help a friend make t-shirt designs, and so I'm like trying to use that one as much as possible because it just looks really slick. Okay, yeah, I stand by what I said yesterday. This would make such a cool challenge coin.
Yep. It turned out that, I mean, the script part turned out good. I know we only have a few minutes, but I figure we just keep on going.
Oh yeah, I mean, we've got about 4 minutes to the artist spotlight, but then that'll be about 5-ish minutes, and then you'll still have about 20 minutes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, you've still got time. I'll keep you on track. Don't you worry.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I do what I can.
I mean, you go ahead.
Cross says, what about some lobster or curls MT?
Really,
dude.
Really?
Why?
Why are you messing with me, bro?
I
know he's laughing. He's laughing, but you live down the street from me, man.
He knows where you live, Kraus.
Like, I literally know the guy that owns your house. Because he's my dad.
There you go.
Oh, man.
Cheryl says that one you have is good. What font is that one? And I think that she's
called
referring...
Messenger.
Messenger? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that is nice. Oh, I like that. He just sent just a smiley face and he says, love ya. Mm-hmm. Just you wait, Kraus. Creative South is going to happen this year. It's going to happen in person. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do something.
We're going to have a good time. Oh, why do I keep touching that thing? It's little...
You should do like a font off, like a font bracket, and people vote and we just break it down to like the best font. This would even look really cool, like on a t-shirt.
Just make a t-shirt out of it.
Just make all the things. Just make it all the things. Kraus says it's always a great time. Darn right it is. Going through Creative South withdrawal now for 2 years, so I'm ready. I'm ready for my Mike Jones hug neck.
Let's go.
Honestly, I'm ready to just like hug our entire Slack crew, to be honest. I'm just ready.
I'm with you.
Giant group hug. Robzilla says, most hated font bracket. That actually could be really funny if we did that.
Could be funny.
Like we start off with 8 or 10 of like the top like most despised typefaces, and we go from there. I kind of think we need to actually make this happen.
We could try.
We definitely could. We could just put it in we could put it in the what's that room with the bar?
You talking about the Stringer?
Yeah.
The saloon.
That's it. We could put it in there.
Yeah, that could work.
We have this. You win nothing. We just want to know.
Right. But you know that's not how we roll. There would be prizes.
Oh, absolutely.
There
I
would
don't
have
know
to be
how they
prizes.
would be, but you definitely have to make it happen.
So I'm just gonna turn this off. No, I turn it off, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
What am I missing?
Oh,
I need an
dude.
ampersand in there.
Jeremy's here.
What's up, dude?
He says, I'm going through withdrawal, missing Creative South so much. Dude, for real. Like, we all hang out on Slack all year long, but it's just not the same. But it's time for the artist spotlight.
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
So we got some.
And I'm saving for whoever's going to tell me to save next. I did save it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's do the artist spotlight. I'm excited about this. I'm excited.
All right, everyone. It is time for the artist spotlight.
And she froze. I love it.
We'll just hold on a second.
There she is.
There we go. All right, we're good. Welcome to the artist spotlight. We're back. Today we are highlighting Hank Washington. So give Hank a round of applause. Hooray! Make sure that you give Hank a follow. And if you want to be considered for a future artist spotlight, you can submit your work to the artist spotlight tab above the chat. So let's take a look at Hank's work. And we actually know Hank. He's an awesome designer, an awesome
solid dude.
He is an art director, an illustrator, and a designer. And he uses Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, and Adobe Portfolio, which I believe you get with your CC subscription and Behance.
That's right. Yep.
So if you update your Behance, it updates your website. So we can start. Which one do you want to start with? Because we're just going to hype.
I mean, go scroll down.
This is it. That's it.
Go. I like this blue one.
This one into the.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's got an Illustrator award there. All right, so we got all types of stuff. A collection of some personal type work. Go fall into your blue. That's nice. Oh, okay, that's cool. I'm not sure how long I can show that because it's not more than a month.
That's cool.
That is really nice.
I love how he's starting to really get into like that kind of stuff, and he's been playing a lot of these like tubular type illustration styles with the people and with the typography.
Yeah, I love this these little like wormy things.
That's cool.
That's really neat. That's such a nice touch. And then we have drip. This is nice too.
Yeah, let's see how I'm talking about. He's like this real tubular type of typography.
Yeah,
it's a cool style.
Yeah, I like how he's got it like nesting through different bits and pieces too.
That's the fun part.
Yeah. Oh, I like this link in bio with the reflective.
Yeah.
Look at that, y'all.
Now I want donuts.
What program is he using? Oh, he uses Procreate for this. You can also do something like this in, I believe, Adobe Dimension.
Yes, you can. I'm muted. Okay. No, she's here. She's back. I can't hear her though. I think she's muted.
It muted me. Hello, I'm back.
Yeah. Hey.
Okay. Sorry, y'all. I don't know why this is happening today. We're gonna run with it. So we're gonna get back to here. Share. Done. Sorry. All right. So we have an homage to The Simpsons here. I really like this brushy stuff he's doing too. Because it feels like it's very similar to that tubular thing he's doing, but also has its own little spin on it.
I agree.
And strengthen letters. I think that's what community is that? There's a big type community, and I, for the life of me, can't remember what it is. But they did the thing called strengthen letters. Someone in chat can let us know. I don't think it's typism. It's run by a girl named Brooke.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. And then, oh, this didn't load. So we're gonna see what that. There we go. Beautiful.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. BU.
And then bring it back. I like this marble thing he does. It works really nicely. And then what else do you want to see? We'll do maybe like one or two.
I love his character work. Like go down one to this guy, the guy from
Doug?
Is it Doug? Thank you.
Skeeter.
Yes, love that cartoon. I just like the way he's taken like a well-known, like this is a character from a cartoon, but he's done this cool 3D kind of, I don't know, I still saying tubular, but like he's using that same kind of style, but building characters out of it and adding a lot of texture. Oh man, that's cool.
I have no idea who this character
is. That's Blanca
really
from
neat.
Street Fighter, I think.
Oh, okay.
Oh, play the animation. Will it play? Okay. He gave him electricity because he's like a ball of electricity. That's cool. That's pretty sweet. And he's doing all that in Procreate or not Procreate?
This looks like it's Photoshop.
Photoshop. That's awesome.
Yeah, tools is Photoshop. Got some close-ups, and then we've got
that's another character I don't know. Another character from Street Fighter, and I cannot remember his name for nothing.
And then we've got Miles Morales.
Yes.
From Into the Spider-Verse, which is like
I'm sorry that this is the best Spider-Man movie ever, in my opinion.
It's so good.
Yeah, agreed.
It is so good. And the soundtrack is just perfect.
Just everything about it.
Got Patty Mayonnaise.
More Doug.
Oh, cool. It shows what his process looks like too.
Oh, that's cool.
I like how it's just little noses right there.
He picked a cool cartoon that's not, overtly well known, but a very, very good one.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong,
cool. And we got, was this Wario? This is New Kids, not New Kids on the Block.
Oh no. Man.
You know what show I'm talking about.
I do. It's like KIDD. What is the? I see it clear as day in my mind. They have the giant tree house and they build all kinds of stuff and they like fight a bad group of kids.
Yeah. They're gonna chat's gonna have to tell us because I know which one it is. I don't know I can't remember what it's called.
Does he have a description on
it? No. Nope. And then people are saying Paco says there's a new Spider-Man trailer out and they're doing very cool stuff. Is that for the Far From Home or not Far From Home, the most recent like verse one? I can't remember, but I do know they are making a Spider-Verse too.
Oh, can't wait.
I'm so excited. Well, we are coming down to the wire. So let's go back to what you are working on. Good job, Hank. We're proud of you. You're awesome.
Yeah, man. Love your work, brother.
Please give Hank a follow. Kids Next Door. Kraus said Kids Next Door.
Kids Next Door. Great cartoon.
Kids Next Door. That I would have never. I knew it had kids.
Okay, cool.
That would have driven me nuts.
Yep. I would have been looking for that all afternoon. KND, that's what I was trying to say a minute ago.
Yeah. All right. So we've got, what is it? It would be I'm trying to time zone myself right now. So this would be 11:10 Pacific time. So we've got about like 12 minutes before we got to start winding down.
All right. I will go as fast as I can.
You do what you can do. Everyone's saying it's Spider-Man No Way Home. Villains in the trailer, Doc Ock and Electro.
Oh, nice.
I will say one of my favorite scenes in Into the Spider-Verse is when Aunt May goes, "Oh great, it's Liv."
That just cracks you up, does it?
It really does. And I think it's funny because she's like, but my friends call me, I'm Dr. Octavius, whatever, but my friends call me Liv. And then the aunt goes, "Oh, great, it's Liv," which hints that they were friends at one point.
Maybe, or she's just being super, super sarcastic.
Also possible, but the sarcasm is what gets me, and I absolutely love it. Paco says it has OG Doc Ock, so the guy that was in, wasn't that like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man that had the OG Doc Ock? And Paco says, I remember seeing, yeah. Paco says, I remember seeing Spider-Man 2 in theaters. I think I did too, actually. Doc Ock might not be a villain. He became good at the end. Interesting. I barely remember that movie, though. I haven't watched it in a long time. So now you're working on the monogram, right?
Yeah, I'm just building it quick. And this is just, I'm just using this as a reference for the size, the width of what I want it to be.
Nice. So if anyone has any questions for Mike, we've got a short while left. So this is like the time to get those questions in. And make sure you're following Mike.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
I should make sure you're following Mike because Mike puts out consistently amazing work.
I do what I can.
Just take the compliment.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And then we have, and he also runs Creative South, which is like one of the best conferences out there. So I highly recommend checking that out. And speaking of conferences, Adobe Max, you can register now and it's free. It's going to be online again this year. And you can register and they already have a bunch of sessions you can sign up for. Just FYI. So if anyone's looking for a creative conference to hold you over until April of next year, Adobe Max.
There you go.
Kraus has a question for you.
Oh, I guess I'll allow it.
What's it like having Kraus as a neighbor?
Oh man. So we really? Oh, it's great. It's great. You know, they keep to themselves. They don't bother anybody. They're not loud. Yeah,
I feel like you're being sarcastic.
They go to bed early. I mean, you know.
They tell their mom they love them.
They're great. They're awesome. I love having them as neighbors.
Yes. Debbie says that she is already registered for Adobe Max. Rob says the best conference. I'm going to assume he's just talking about both Creative South and Max. I believe Rob is also speaking at Max this year.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he says both. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta do that. We gotta make it to that.
And Kraus says good answer. And then Steve says Lightbox is up in September soon as well, but they want money this year. I think it cost money last year too. But for Lightbox, the lowest ticket price is $2. So it's really low barrier of entry. And that's going to be actually, I think, a very good conference as well. And then Ferry just shared a link to the coffee cheese from yesterday.
Oh, nice!
I'm gonna grab this because once the session's over, we won't have access to that link anymore. Chocolate chip and cheese, brown sugar milk coffee with some grass jelly.
Grass jelly.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I'll take it. I think it's interesting. I just can't picture what like that flavor profile is. Bliss says I'm registered for Max, and Steve says no Lightbox was free last year. I think you could pay for an upgraded ticket last year to get like a discount on merch, if I remember right, because I remember paying for a ticket. But yeah. And Carol says if you have a schedule conflict, all of the Max sessions are recorded. And I believe up until Max, you can still watch sessions from last year, and yours truly has a session from last year. Yeah, Robert says Lightbox and Max were fun last year. Ferry says try to open in case it won't work yet. So Ferry, only the mods can post clickable links. I copy pasted it, so I have it up on my screen, so I can send it to Mike afterwards.
I'm just adding some little flourishy deals to this stuff.
Nice. Sweet. And Steve says, oh yes, on Max, they're up to watch now from last year. Yeah, there are a lot of great talks last year. It was, they had so much content. To some degree for me, it was actually overwhelming because there was so much I wanted to see, and obviously not enough hours in the day. But I definitely went back and watched a good bunch of them and really, really enjoyed it because it's just, people are just talented, and there's some really good talks out there.
Okay, so built a monogram. I'm just going to add this to the sides over here.
Nice.
Yep. So
very nice. Bravo, Mike.
Right, and then take those. Take this. Actually, just in case you want to grab it for later, take all that. Just whoop.
I hate when that happens, when you think you're on one,
yep,
on one tool and you're not. All right, guys, we've got about 5 minutes, so make sure you get those questions in if you've got them. This is so good.
Oh, come on. I'm building as fast as I can.
You don't have to rush your process. Don't worry. Everyone's happy to watch you.
I'm trying to finish it. So let's see, over, under. It's going to go over in the middle, under here. So that needs to be white. And so does this one. And the cool part, because I got it separate, if you take that and just shift it like this, then you can bust out that piece. Boop.
Oh, snap.
And then you can just grab these. Actually, it's too much. Oh, give me that one. Right.
Andrew Hawk Rattle is in the house. He says, hey there, party people.
What's up, dude? What up, dude?
Andrew Hawk Rattle's up after us, guys, so make sure you stay and watch because he's fun.
Yeah, he's awesome.
We're talking yesterday about how Hawk has this like massive amount of costumes and definitely makes use of them in Creative South when he's emceeing. Rob Magnell says, love watching your process. Wonderful work. Now I want to do another hand lettering project.
Get it.
Kraus says, I want to be Mike Jones when I grow up. Such good work, bro.
Thanks, man. You're so messed up. Oh, fun times, dude.
Yeah. Paco says, Creative South sounds like a blast. Would love to attend one of these days. You should. Gus came one year. Come on,
dude.
Yeah, we got Gus to come. So like you need to come now too. And there's like, it's good barbecue. It's good food. It's honestly, Columbus is a beautiful area. And you're right on the border of Alabama. So you can do that. Like I'm standing in two places at once thing.
Really and truly.
Yeah. Yeah. Paco says, Gus talked it up highly and says, you had me at barbecue. Yeah. Honestly, the barbecue is really good there. They also have really good burgers. They've got, what's that one place called? Like Mad Cow, Black Cow, something like that.
Black Cow.
Yep. That place has really good burgers. And then the bridge party, when you have food trucks that have truffle fries.
That's a good point.
Truffle fries are so good. I also really like that the ice cream food truck, the shaved ice.
Yeah. She'll be back.
Yay, because I love that. And the last couple of years, like there's always like a really bad storm, like right before Creative South starts. So bridge party, the temperature drops. And I remember one year it was like 40 degrees on the bridge. So no one was eating the shaved ice. And I went up and I was holding it. I'm just like, yes, I'm going to be freezing, but this is worth it. Barry says, people, how many costumes do you have? Val and Andrew Hawkrattle. Yes. Yeah, they both
many.
have,
I can't even name them.
They have a lot of costumes.
There's a monogram with some shadowing.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yeah, and then I always come back on stuff like this and just like, okay, I know I need to pull this back a little bit to give it a little more definition for the shadow, right? And then same here, just let's take these two down a bit.
Really nice. Wow, I love it. And chat's going, you had me at barbecue.
Yeah, probably not.
Barry says, when you say barbecue, my mind keeps saying Texas over and over again. You'd be surprised though, like Georgia, I think is known for barbecue too.
You know what though? I'm not going to disagree with them because I'm a brisket guy through and through, but it's got to be done right. It's got to be done right.
I think Tennessee, Georgia, and Texas are really known for barbecue. And then we had barbecue in Grand Rapids, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
If I remember right. And Ferry says, this looks like a sticker.
I guess it could be a sticker.
I really think aspects of this project could be turned into a multitude of things.
I mean, it's majority just pen tool, having some fun with the pen tool. There we go. I think that looks kind of cool. Maybe even you could probably come back and add one like, you can do all kinds of stuff with the shadowing. It's really just kind of preference and what you're trying to accomplish,
That's so cool. So cool. Well, we're at a point where we actually have to wrap up now. So let's quickly show how this looks.
Let's turn off this.
Yeah.
That's as far as I got today, but that looks not too shabby. That's definitely a work in progress.
It looks fantastic.
And the final lettering ended up looking like this up here, this top one.
Very nice. This is, you did
that Coke red and put it on here and zoom in on that.
You did some fantastic work in these 2 days. I mean, think about it. It's only technically like 4 hours total of work. Look at that.
Not too bad. I mean, we made something. I hope I taught you something. I hope you guys learned a few things.
You did all the work. We were just here to support you.
We made something. We were doing it together.
Yeah.
Good. I do appreciate everybody being here, and I hope you guys got something out of it. As always, I'm here if you need me. So holler at me on social media. And if you got any other questions or whatever.
Yeah, where can people find you?
At Bucket826 on Instagram, Twitter. That's pretty much it. And Dribble's the same, I guess. Hugnext.com and creativesouth.com.
Perfect. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us these last 2 days. It's been an absolute blast having you here, Mike. We're so glad we got to watch your process, and you did a fantastic job. Make sure that you guys stick around for the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge replays with Andrew Hockrattle, immediately followed by video editing with Elise Swopes.
Get it, Andrew.
Thank you, everyone. Yes, stay and watch Andrew.
Thanks, Shauna. I appreciate you.
Yes, this was so much fun. Thank you, Mike. And I will hopefully see you soon.
Bye. Y'all be good. Have a good day.